The message arrived at 2:47 a.m. 8 words, no signature. The party is dead. I'm bringing it back. Kemi Badenoch stared at her phone in the darkness. She'd just been elected conservative leader, inheriting a corpse of a party, destroyed, humiliated, left for dead by Rishi Sunak's catastrophic defeat. Most people would run. She ran towards it. But could one woman really resurrect what looked impossible to save? November 2024, the morning after her victory. Conservative HQ felt like a funeral home. Staff packing boxes, donors gone. The polls showed them in third place, behind Reform UK, behind Labour, behind Hope itself. Then she walked in. No smile, no celebration, just brutal honesty. We deserved to lose. We broke promises, fought ourselves, forgot why anyone trusted us. The room went silent. Politicians don't admit failure. They spin it, deflect it, blame others, not Badenoch. She looked at the remaining staff and said something nobody expected. Now we rebuild, and we start by telling the truth. That speech leaked within hours. Media called it desperate. Labor MPs laughed. Keir Starmer's team dismissed her as a caretaker leader, managing decline. They had no idea what was coming. December 2024, her first prime minister's questions. Starmer sat comfortable, secure, expecting the usual theatrical opposition rubbish. Instead, Badenoch asked simple questions. NHS waiting lists hitting records under Labour. Why? Immigration numbers still climbing. When does it become your responsibility? Economic growth stalling. What's the plan? No shouting, no performing, just direct questions exposing gaps in Starmer's rehearsed answers. He stumbled, blamed the previous government, talked about long-term plans without specifics. Badenoch didn't interrupt. She just asked follow-ups that made his vagueness obvious. The clip went viral within hours. New Tory leader destroys Starmer. It was one session, but it sent a signal. The Conservatives had a fighter now. Then came January 2025, and Labour's first real test. Rachel Reeves prepared the budget. Tax rises coming. Necessary, she claimed, to fix the Tory mess. Badenoch launched a counter-campaign, Labour's tax betrayal. Simple message. Starmer promised no tax rises on working people. Now he was breaking that promise. Labour insisted these weren't real tax rises, just technical adjustments, threshold freezes, loophole closures. Badenoch translated it. You'll pay more? They lied. End of story. The media coverage shifted. Suddenly, Labour was defensive, explaining, justifying. And Badenoch? She kept hammering the same point across every interview, every speech, every appearance. Conservative support ticked up, 23% to 26%, still third place, but rising. Starmer's team tried dismissing her. Just noise, no substance. But the polls kept moving because something had changed. Badenoch wasn't playing the old Westminster game. No spin, no careful wording, just direct communication that voters understood. February 2025 brought the NHS winter crisis. Hospitals overwhelmed, ambulance delays, horror stories dominating headlines. Starmer had promised to fix the NHS in our first year. Instead, it was getting worse. Most opposition leaders would just criticize from a distance. Badenoch did something smarter. She listened, visited hospitals, met doctors, heard nurses, then used their real voices in Parliament. Dr. Sarah Mitchell in Manchester General told me staffing is worse than ever. Nurse James Thompson in Birmingham says they're turning away patients. These aren't my words, Prime Minister. These are your NHS staff telling the truth you won't admit. Starmer tried his usual response. Blame Tory underfunding, years of neglect, the familiar script. Badenoch had a simple counter. You've been in power 7 months. When does it become your responsibility? That clip, also viral. Starmer's team was getting worried. This wasn't normal opposition. Badenoch was changing the rules. Then March 2025 arrived, and everything shifted. The scandal broke. Labour's donation controversies exploding across front pages. Starmer and cabinet ministers accepting expensive gifts, luxury hospitality, high-value donations, Arsenal VIP boxes, designer suits, all technically legal but looking terrible, while they told working families to tighten belts. Starmer defended it, all properly declared according to rules. Badenoch pounced. The rules you wrote for yourselves, while lecturing everyone else about sacrifice. The press loved it. The public agreed. Labor's moral authority, their main weapon against Tory sleaze, was crumbling. Starmer tried moving on. This is a distraction from serious government work. But Badenoch wouldn't let go. Every PMQs, every interview, every speech hammering the same theme. Labor promised change, delivered more of the same. Conservative polls hit 29%. Reform UK at 19%. Labor still leading, but the gap closing fast. Starmer's team realized Badenoch wasn't going away. April 2025. Local elections approaching, crucial test. If Labor did well, it proved their government had support. If they struggled, disaster. Badenoch campaigned hard, not in safe Tory areas, but in Labor heartlands, the places conservatives had abandoned. She talked about immigration honestly, cultural concerns, working class communities feeling ignored by metropolitan elites, exactly what Starmer couldn't discuss without alienating his London base. The results shocked Westminster. Labor lost ground. Conservatives gained seats. Reform UK collapsed. Where did Reform votes go? To Badenoch's Conservatives. She'd done the impossible. Started winning back voters who'd fled to Farage. Nigel Farage was furious. His strategy relied on Tory weakness. Badenoch was making them strong again. May 2025. The confrontation everyone anticipated. Major parliamentary vote on Labor's housing policy. Starmer needed it to pass. His credibility depended on it. Badenoch didn't just vote against. She gave a speech defining her leadership. This government promised homes for young families. They're building investment opportunities for wealthy landlords. Promised to help working people. They're helping the already rich. Said they were different. They're exactly the same. Conservative MPs united for the first time in years. The vote was close. Labor won. Barely. But damage was done. Starmer's authority questioned. His majority looking shaky. Whispers started in Labor backbenches. Is Starmer strong enough? June 2025. The polls shifted dramatically. Labor, 38% Conservatives, 32% Reform. UK, 15%. The gap closing fast. Badenoch's strategy working. She'd rebuilt the Conservative brand from scratch, not by pleasing everyone, but by being honest about what conservatism meant, offering genuine alternatives to Labor's cautious managerialism. Starmer was in trouble. Government only 1 year old, already looking tired, defensive, constantly reacting to Badenoch's attacks instead of setting their own agenda. Number 10 went into crisis mode. New strategy, better communication, more aggressive rebuttals. But the problem wasn't tactics, it was substance. Labor had won by default because Tories were chaos. Now Tories had someone making them look competent again. And Labor looked ordinary. July 2025, 1 year since Labor's historic victory. Starmer gave an anniversary speech, listing achievements, promising more to come. Badenoch responded immediately. A year of broken promises, rising taxes, same old politics. The British people deserve better. The contrast was stark. Starmer, careful, cautious, defensive. Badenoch, bold, direct, attacking. Political commentators asked uncomfortable questions. Could conservatives actually win the next election? A year ago? Laughable. Now? Felt possible. August 2025. Summer recess, but the battle didn't stop. Badenoch spent August doing what Starmer couldn't. Talking to people Labor abandoned. Manufacturing towns, coastal communities, rural areas, places feeling ignored by London-centric government. Her message, simple, direct, effective. We hear you, we understand you, we'll fight for you. It was working. Local associations coming back to life, donations returning, membership growing. The party that looked dead in July 2024 was showing resurrection signs. Starmer watched from Downing Street. His team tried dismissing it. Temporary protest votes won't last. But privately, they knew. Badenoch was the real deal. September 2025. Party conference season arrived. Labor's conference, professional, well-organized, competent, and completely forgettable. Starmer's speech about steady progress and long-term plans received polite applause. Media coverage respectful but unenthusiastic. The conservative conference different entirely. Badenoch walked on stage to standing ovation. Energy electric. Party faithful energized for the first time in years. Her speech was powerful. No notes, direct eye contact, speaking from conviction. They said we were finished, said conservatism was dead. They were wrong. We're back, and we're coming for them. The hall erupted. Social media exploded. Even political opponents had to admit this was a leader. Starmer's team watched the clips, the worry visible now. But before we see what happened next, you need to understand something crucial about Badenoch's strategy. Because what she was doing wasn't normal politics. It was something far more dangerous to labor. She wasn't just opposing. She was offering an alternative vision, not reactive, proactive, not defensive, aggressive, not managing decline, building for victory. October 2025, latest polls dropped. Labor, 36% conservatives, 34% statistical tie, a government just over 1 year old, in dead heat with opposition that suffered worst defeat in living memory. Starmer called an emergency strategy meeting. His team had no good answers. The problem was simple. Badenoch changed the game. Didn't play by old rules. Didn't engage in Westminster bubble games. Spoke directly to voters. Offered genuine alternatives. Made the conservatives relevant again, and most dangerous, made Starmer look weak by comparison. November 2025. By-election in Labor-held seat. Should have been safe for governing party. Labor should have won comfortably. Instead, conservatives won. Overturned 8,000 majority. Shock reverberated through Westminster. Labor MPs panicked. Is this the beginning of the end? Starmer gave interviews insisting everything was fine. Midterm protest votes will refocus and deliver. Nobody believed him. Badenoch didn't gloat, just stated facts. The British people are losing faith in this government. They're looking for alternatives. We're ready. December 2025, 1 year into Badenoch's leadership. The transformation? Stunning. A party left for dead, a leader written off as caretaker. Now, genuine contenders for power again. Conservative MPs who prepared for careers outside politics were suddenly optimistic about re-election. Donors who'd abandoned the party were writing checks again. Voters who'd sworn never to vote Tory again were reconsidering. And Starmer, learning a hard lesson. Winning elections is easy when opponents are chaos. Governing while they rebuild, much harder. Badenoch wasn't interested in being opposition for opposition's sake. She was building an alternative government. Shadow cabinet reshuffle, policy development, professional operation. Everything conservatives hadn't been for years. The tables were turning. The question now, can Starmer recover? Can he neutralize Badenoch's threat? Or will history record his as one of the shortest successful premierships in modern times? Because Kemi Badenoch isn't playing the long game. She's playing the winning game, and right now, she's winning. The cameras turn to Starmer in Parliament. He opens his mouth to respond. But wait, before you hear what he says, you need to know what happened next, because the real battle is just beginning.